Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to AIM Impact on Your Health. AIM Impact on Your Health, where every day our goal is to have you learn at least one thing to help you live better and longer. AIM Impact on Your Health is heard each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock, and I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney. I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. AIM Impact on Your Health, where each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, fascinating health topics, and of course, where we do encourage you to call in to join in. Today, well, it is a Friday morning version of the show. We do, traditionally now, a Boreshaa report each and every Friday. We're going to certainly have one of those this morning. Dr. Angelo Mitsos is going to be with us in a few minutes to talk about, well, what went on here this week with Boreshaa. It was an action-packed week. It's an action-packed month. If you know about Boreshaa, try to find us somewhere in one of our tastings. We'll talk about where they'll be the rest of this month, and you can take an opportunity to try the Boreshaa product line for free on us at a number of venues, and we'll mention each and every one of them. Have a pencil and paper to write down where it may be in your backyard, and also, too, if you want to just get started doing it, there's an important number, an ID number you got to key in to be able to join and get the product on your own. Get a pencil and paper and have it ready to go. We'll announce that when we cut to the Boreshaa report right here in a few moments, right after our first break. Now, how the rest of the schedule is shaping up, we want to clue you in on it. I hope you enjoyed our discussion with Mr. Mark Cohen on Wednesday. Many of you are out there of Medicare age. This is your enrollment period. It began on the 15th. Funny how we just knew that and brought Mr. Cohen, a Medicare concierge, to the airways with you on Wednesday. Now, he's been coming by our way for the third year now in a row. He helps many. If you think you need some help in wading through the minutia of finding out which plan may be best for you, you got a guy who's willing to help you. If you just give him a call, 724-827-5093. He'll set up a time to come out and meet you and go over the many options and really help focus on what will be in your best interest for 2015. You have the opportunity to re-enroll each and every year. And because the plans change and your needs change, you may need some help in making that change. Once again, the number for Mr. Cohen, 724-827-5093. Last night, really enjoyed meeting so many of you out there at the Freedom of Choice and Cancer Therapy group. It's always a journey getting there. The Holton Bridge was just out there. What an obstacle. Anyway, arriving and meeting Dr. Silberstein, who did an excellent presentation last night of fighting cancer with your fork. What a great job she did. I really enjoy seeing all of you once a month out there and having an opportunity to hear from you about your particular health issues. I look forward to the next month's meeting. I'll be announcing it in terms of the guests and so forth, and we'll have that guest on our show in the month of November. On Monday's show, you don't want to miss this one. This is the launching of a new paradigm, I say, here at our office, and I think here for Western Pennsylvania, there is a current treatment modality that is eluding Western Pennsylvania. Even in my own hands, I've lost sight of the fact of how important microcurrent therapies can be for everything other than the eye, even though I've been working exclusively with it, with the eye, and had such amazing results over the last year and a half. It's now time to move to every other place other than the eye. And when you hear about the ability to do that, I think it'll be intriguing to you. It certainly is fascinating to me. On Monday's show, we launched that new Microcurrent Monday segment with Shannon Gosen. You will love her. You will enjoy hearing how your particular medical problem, and it doesn't have to be eyes now. It can be anything, can be enhanced. A new program we're going to announce called Second Call. More about that. Yeah, you dial 911 first, and you dial 1011 second, and you'll find out what all that means on Monday with Shannon. Hope you enjoy, and will be there with us as we launch the microcurrent. FSM stands for Frequency Specific Microcurrent. Its new modality will be launched on Monday. You want to be there and be part of it. Of course, I venture on out to a conference next week. So the shows for Wednesday and Friday will not be live shows. If you think you have an idea of which show you'd like to have repeated, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just pick one from the vault. And I'm going to be rooming. I'm going to Albuquerque, New Mexico for LDA's biennial conference. All of the disciples of Dr. William Butch Schrader, the originator of this LDA approach to the treatment of immunological response, are going to be out there in Albuquerque. And of course, my go-to guy when it comes to LDA was the guy who originally brought the entire concept to our airway, a local doctor. I call him the godfather of Western Pennsylvania alternative medicine, Dr. Roy Carey. And we will be roommates out there in Albuquerque, and I just can't. Every time I'm around this guy, I learn so much, and I'm looking forward to what I can pick up from him over those 4 or 5 days. I'll report back to you, obviously, when I return. Now, we're doing a lot of eye programs here, and the next one that's going to be done is going to be, the 3-day program will be in November on 17, 18, and 19. Many of you out there may have eye issues or know somebody and you'd like to learn more about it. We offer frequently, and we will be offering another free eye treatment seminar here in my office, 5:30. We're shifting the time a bit. It's getting darker earlier. Our folks need to get back home before it gets too dark. They have difficulty driving at night. So the time is going to be 5:30 instead of the, what up to now has been, I think, 6:30 or 7. 5:30 on the 28th, Tuesday, the 28th of October in my office. For those of you out there, if you have an eye issue, or this is now the time to sort of round up that neighbor that you've been watching, or that family member that just is having a heck of a time, bring them on out for an hour to an hour and a half with me on the 28th. Give us a call here, 724-942-3002. Talk to Sister Sarah or to Kim and just say, hey, look, I'd like to come out, and let us know how many people are coming, so we got an idea of who to prepare for it. That's on the 28th of October. Hope you enjoy it. Well, hold all the Boreshaa tastings. Faith is really involved, and scheduled another one. We'll do all those when we take our break and get with Dr. Angelo Mitsos. So I'm not going to take the time to go over that right now. What else? The discs. You get a lot of interest out here with our ozone program, and really with the godfather of ozone therapy, Dr. Frank Schallenberger, who came aboard with us in January, February, and April of 2014. His shows are now platinum versions. I get more requests for those shows than any others. And many of you know you can go right to my website and listen to them at any time for free, just by going to either djcmd.com or dennisjcourtney.com. On the opening page, click on the icon marked Archives. That takes you onto the YouTube. And once there, just type in Courtney / Schallenberger / the ozone therapy, and the 3 shows will come up. So why don't you just take me up on my offer to get them for free. If not, we have the discs now available. They went like hotcakes last night out at the Freedom of Choice and Cancer Therapy Group. They are going to go fast here. Call us 724-942-3002. Ozone Therapy shows 1, 2, and 3. All right, time to take a short break. In the interim, connect with our guest for the morning. It's Friday. It's Boreshaa Report Friday. Our guest, Dr. Angelo Mitsos, will be right with us to tell us what's happened this week, a whole bunch, and what's happening next on the Boreshaa front. Be right back. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AIM Impact on Your Health. We're here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you today on a Friday morning version of the show, and Fridays now become sort of Boreshaa Report Fridays. We fill you in on where what happened in the week, where things are happening next. A lot of Boreshaa tastings, giving you the opportunity to sample, I believe, a one-of-a-kind product that has no equal anywhere in the marketplace. Except you won't be able to find it in the marketplace that you normally go to. You're going to have to get this online. We want to make sure that you enjoy the product, so to come out and see us in what we call Boreshaa tastings. For those of you that are itching to get at it, we're going to give you directions on how you can become involved without leaving your house before our report is over with. Our go-to guy in this instance, well, he's the one that introduced me to Boreshaa. He's been involved with the company for over 5 years now, and he's been a great support for me. He's always out there to meet and greet the public. He was there last night, as a matter of fact, at the Freedom of Choice and Cancer Therapy Group. Our go-to man when it comes to all things Boreshaa, a doctor, podiatrist in his own right, but very much involved with the Boreshaa company. Let's say good morning and welcome Dr. Angelo Mitsos to our airways. Good morning, Dr. Angelo.
Hey, good morning, Dr. Courtney. Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been just a few hours. But, you know, it was probably the biggest week Boreshaa had this week when it comes to all that surrounded the activities this week. Why don't you, who've been involved with the company more than I have, but we had special things going on this week. We had George on our show talk to us about what happened. They came in like a tornado. They're now out in the eastern part of the state. Tell me who they are and what happened with them and us this week.
Well, Dr. Courtney, it was very exciting. I mean, we had events every single night. And Tuesday, I started out with George and Joe Giuliano. We had some private meetings, and I believe that was the very first time. I know it's the first time you met George. I think it's the first time you met Joe.
It's the first time I met them both, sure.
Yeah, and what do you think about the passion, enthusiasm, and integrity of our owner and CEO, George Najjar?
Yeah, by the way, when you wrote through the word George out there, he is the owner of this company and CEO, and he's as approachable as your next-door neighbor. I mean, the guy there's no pretense about him. He's not erudite. He is warm and friendly. Warm fuzzies spill off of this guy, and that passion for how this all came about is just under the surface of the skin. He'll talk about it, and we of course did discuss how this company got started, his own involvement with it, and then you just want to be a part of it when you see the CEO coming out there, meeting you in a hotel lobby. He doesn't care. Wherever it is that he can talk about his company, he's doing so. And Joe Giuliano, I guess his number 2 salesman in the entire company, was very enlightening too. I enjoyed being around him. I know that members of my team equally enjoyed that opportunity, and they've been inspired by him. So we got to get him back here. He will come back. He says he loves Pittsburgh. He's from Lebanon, not Mount Lebanon, which I thought was funny because when he saw there was a town called Mount Lebanon, he immediately gravitated. He was born and raised initially in the country of Lebanon, comes here as an immigrant, and now look what he's put together.
Yeah, absolutely, Dr. Courtney. And, you know, he kept his commitment to you because of your leadership and your strong voice. And when you said that we're going to put Pittsburgh on the map, you know, that was really the main reason he came here. And it's exciting. He plans on returning just in a few weeks, I think in December. So we'll be announcing that after you had to go home that evening. You had a very busy day, but we were able to run down the road there in your neighborhood to Permanis. And he had his first Permani sandwich.
He had a first,
and then as a true Pittsburgher now, as a honorary Pittsburgh guy, he also had an Iron City beer. So,
oh goodness gracious! Well, yeah, he is fully initiated now to Pittsburgh. If he had a Permani's and an Iron City, and I'm glad to hear he's coming back. I didn't realize it will be in December, but I'm looking forward to it. Let's talk about where Boreshaa happenings are going to occur for the rest of this month, giving you the opportunity also to talk about the wonderful meeting that's going to take place in Chicago. But I'm going to throw out the venues that I know of. If you know of any other what we now call Boreshaa tastings, you can chime in. But here's what I've got on my agenda. People out there listening to us, you got a pencil and paper. Here's where Boreshaa tastings are available to you. First off, I'm going to let you take this one. It's up in your neck of the woods, up in Newcastle. You got an event coming up this weekend on the 19th called, what, Paint the Town Pink. What is that? What's going on? And you're going to be there with the Boreshaa from 1 to 4 on.
Yes, this will be 1 o'clock this Sunday at the New Englander Banquet Center. That's in Newcastle, north on Route 18. It is a fashion show fundraiser for Jameson Hospital for breast awareness, and I'll be there with my good friend Donnie Kirkwood, and we'll have all the products there for people to sample, and that will be a very fun event with a fashion show.
By the way, for those of you who want to plug this into your GPS, here's the address, 300. Look, I don't leave without plugging it into mine, so I understand. 3009 Wilmington Road, Newcastle. It'll pull you right into the parking lot, I'm sure. Angela's going to be there. His big sidekick, Donnie's going to be there 1 to 4. So that's this weekend. If you're up in the northern part of the western Pennsylvania area, stop in and hey, a fashion show should be fun. The next one I have is next week, next Thursday. Faith is out there spreading the faith, and she's affiliated with the Carnegie Libraries of Pittsburgh. She gives a lot of talks. The one next Thursday is a talk going to be held at the Mount Washaggi Public Library. It's going to be 6:30 Thursday night, and her talk is on gardening time. Time is spelled T-H-Y-M-E. Nice play on words, gardening time. But the Boreshaa products will be there, and you have an opportunity to taste those in your backyard if Mount Washington is convenient to you. That's 6:30. That was a new one, just got scheduled last night, literally. So Faith is out there spreading the faith. Any words about that particular tasting? Or did you know about it, or am I telling you this?
You know what? I'm glad you have the date. She did mention it. I know she does a lot of work with the public library. As a matter of fact, Dr. Courtney, I was with her this past Monday in your neighborhood, the Upper St. Clair Library. Very nice group, and we have a new business partner in Dr. David Spear, who I first met that night. Very astute, interesting gentleman, and we look forward to working with him as well.
Yeah, David, I've known him for years. He's really involved in the alternative industry as a reflexologist. Last night he was at the meeting helping somebody having vertigo, and hopefully she's doing well today. But nice to have him on board, and glad to see Faith was out there. She said she had 20 or so on her encounter at the Upper St. Clair Library, and I'm glad to see that David Spear was there. Now, we got a real famous guy from Pittsburgh, certainly a host of one of the shows here on the lineup at KHB. You all know him, folks, Dr. Wagner, Dr. Dan Wagner. And he's going to have, he calls it his annual wellness event. It's going to be held on the 31st of October and the 1st. It's a Friday-Saturday combination out there, 2506 Wildwood Road. And he looks like he's a new addition to the family, and he'll be having a Boreshaa tasting both days. Do you know anything more about that you can tell our listeners about?
Well, that's another very powerful 2-day women's wellness event that will be held right at his Nutra Pharmacy. He has a very unique all-natural pharmacy. It's going to be from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. on Halloween, last day of the month, and then also Saturday, November 1st. And yes, he attended last night the Freedom of Choice and Cancer Therapy Group. I briefly had a chance to talk with him, and yes, he's looking forward to us supporting him and joining our team, Dr. Courtney.
Glad to see he's aboard. He's quite a gem. He's been a ray and sunshine of light and knowledge for the longest time. And it's no surprise that Dan Wagner is among the fold. Happy to have him aboard, and hope you out there in the North Hills area, who I'm sure you know where Dr. Wagner's establishment is. we'll take him up on not just visiting him as you must do every year, but to have the Boreshaa line waiting for you to give it a try. I don't have anything else in the month of October, but I'm going to let you talk about a unique experience that everybody's invited to become involved with if they have a mind. Now, this usually would be those who are interested in the business model, being able to be one of the team members. But in Chicago, you got special things going on here in the first week of November. What's going on?
Well, this will be a Boreshaa national meeting at the Hyatt Regency in O'Hare. It'll be Friday, September 7th, and then Saturday. I'm sorry, November. We're November now.
Yeah.
November 7th and November 8th. There'll be a social get-together the night of Friday, November 7th. And then there's a training and an opportunity to meet George Najjar, to meet Joe Giuliano, but also to meet some of the lead scientists and see what's happening with the company. George kind of gave a little bit of a preview when he was here, and he's talking about, Boreshaa just launched in the Philippines, and very exciting. Last night, Dr. Courtney, I had a chance to meet a woman, Theodora, from the Philippines, a friend of Dr. David Spear. She actually is head or president of a local chapter of Filipinos, and so we look forward to working with her. But George mentioned, in addition to the Philippines, he just came back from his homeland of Lebanon, and he's talking about the opportunity to get into countries like Dubai, and then he's talking about other countries in Asia, Canada, and Australia, and we have the opportunity to position ourselves before all that happens. So that'll all be presented at the national meeting for Boreshaa International at the Hyatt Regency in O'Hare. And then the following week, there's phase 2 of the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation.
Oh, when is that one? It's in November. What's the date of it?
That'll be Saturday, November 15th at the Carnegie Science Center. Registration begins at 8 a.m., the meeting at 9 a.m. We'll be there with all the Boreshaa products again, and just a great opportunity to assist in the education and helping patients with type 1 diabetes.
GDRF, Walk for the Cure. This is the second of 2. Now, they have the one out there at Shenley Park. We were out there. It was a gorgeous day. Oh, wonderful compared to last year. It was in the rain last year. This year was beautiful sunshine. And I knew there was an up-and-coming event. I'm just marking it down now. What time is that?
Registration begins at 8. The program begins at 9 a.m. until about 3 p.m. And we'll be there with, again, for people to ask questions. This will be a little bit better because it's a symposium. It's indoors. And a better opportunity to chit-chat and answer people's questions, and they get to, again, sample these delicious products.
Okay, so I know we're giving you a lot of business, since you said you're not interested in business out there. Most of you just want to try this product. You now know where. I'll keep on letting you know as we add to the list, and keep on supporting those who are already going to have these tastings. You may decide you want to just do something about it from where you're sitting right now, and you certainly can. Either go to a couple ways. Go to PittsburghEyeProtocol.com. Want to make it really easy because that's where all the products that I recommend, no matter what they are listed under the products column. And the very first thing that you can click on there is Boreshaa International. And once that takes you to Boreshaa, just go to the Join In component. You ultimately have to plug in some numbers, all right? Now, those of you who want to enroll, I'm going to give you a set of numbers. Please write these down. This will be the final question and lets you just open up into getting the product in the way that you want to receive it. The number that you have to plug in, here it comes, 47537. That's the identification number it asks you for. Once again, 47537, and that'll open up like a key in a lock and lets you take, and if you want to enroll and get the product without having to go to a Boreshaa tasting, or maybe you already were at a Boreshaa tasting and you want to be able to actualize it. If you have any trouble, our girl sister Sarah will help you. Just dial us up here at 942-3002. There's some ways that we have an 800 number I didn't even know about, by the way, where there's some telephone help for those that just aren't comfortable with a computer. And I learned that from none other than the man himself, George. He says, "Oh yeah, they'll help you walk you through it." Do you happen to know that number, by the way? I want to start giving that out.
Oh yes, we have it. That actually it's a 925. It's a California area code.
Oh, please give me that number.
It would be 925-676-1400. I'll double check that here as we go along. Make sure. Yes, 925-676-1400. And as a matter of fact, that's exactly how we enrolled Dr. David Spear on Tuesday after I met him on Monday.
Wonderful. So just call. Have this number available. We're going to ask you for an ID number, folks. 47537. So if you don't have computer access, if you're not comfortable doing something online, if you dial up that number, 925-676-1400, you'll be able to be assisted and walk through. I guess they're going to walk you right through it, and you don't have to worry about the scary computer getting to you because there's some nice folks on the other line who'll help you out. I didn't realize you had that opportunity to do that, and I'm glad to be able to announce it. Thank you, George, for passing that information to me. Just quickly, anything about the products? I mean, maybe people are listening to us for the first time. They hear all this excitement, wondering, what are these two cheerleaders yapping about? There's a product at the end of all this that's a one-of-a-kind. Angelo, talk to us about that product very quickly.
Well, we have the organic fat-burning coffee. We have fat-burning peach mango tea, which has a green tea extract in it, and a delicious fat-burning lemonade. We also have an all-natural sweetener. You know, Dr. Courtney, we were both listening attentively last night to Dr. Susan Silberstein. Wasn't she great?
How to fight cancer with your fork. Absolutely.
Right. And I'm sitting there, and as she's going through her presentation, I'm picking up, I'm having some fat-burning coffee. Why? Because she said that we need to decrease our fat composition in order to be able to fight cancer. She talked about we need to decrease sugar, and we all love sugar. We all love sweeteners. However, it's not healthy for us. And George told us that the average person consumes about 125 pounds of high glycemic products and sugars in a year. And Dr. Silberstein clearly explained how that is detrimental. So Boreshaa has an all-natural sweetener that is low glycemic. It looks like sugar. It feels like sugar. It's absolutely delicious. It's safe for children. We can cook with it. It's powerful. Then she talked about green tea. And Boreshaa has a beverage that's thermogenic, burns fat, and has that green tea component. And then, you actually gave Dr. Silverstein a sample of
she looked at that. She started reading the label. She said, "Where's this?" Label reader, as anybody would be at her level, and it passed eyeball scrutiny. She just gave me a quick look at the label, which I was happy that she looked at because everything on that label is kosher and points out this is unique. And I'm going to guess I'm going to hear from Dr. Silverstein. She promised me she'd try all the stuff. But for a woman as invested as in fighting cancer with a fork, this meets a lot of the needs of what she was talking about last night in terms of what to avoid, and sugars were one of them. You got a sweet tooth, but you can't be using that white stuff, or you can't be using pink or blue or yellow either. Those are poisons. So you got a natural sugar, a natural sweetener, I guess, better way to say it. In this Boreshaa product, which is an excellent one of a kind, and we introduced that to her last night. I hope to hear from her soon. All right, anything else on the Boreshaa thing?
Well, I do want to put a plug in for Patty Szymanski.
Yeah, she's going great guns.
She asked me to come down for that TLS. She's saying her patients are getting tremendous results in a very short period of time. So I'll be at Dr. Swiggert's office tomorrow morning.
Absolutely. Forgot to mention, Patty Szymanski's on fire out there in Johnstown, but she's the coach. She's the head lady with the TLS program. I'll talk about that in just a moment. to get ready for round 2 of the TLS program. But there are a lot of folks involved with it, and their weight loss issues or their carbohydrate issues are responding very nicely. And she's fully behind the. What a perfect product for her, who's in, let's say, the weight loss industry, and does this as a steady job. She was just introduced to like a immediate fall in love product because this stuff tastes so good and it meets the needs of all of the people that she works with. And you're going to be there tomorrow morning. So, by the way, you're invited, listeners. You want to come on out there just to try the product. You don't have to be in a TLS class. That's going to be at the South Point Chiropractic Clinic at the South Point exit of I-79, right off the exit, coming away from South Point, going towards Hendersonville to the light. And when you turn left onto the Morganza Road, there's a little shopping plaza on your left. Oddly enough, I have to give this landmark because it'll cinch it for everybody. It's right next to Vincent's Pizza. You can't miss it, folks. And you're going to be there tomorrow morning with also the product line. So thanks for bringing that up. I forgot all about it.
Yes, Dr. Courtney. And last thing I want to say, I want to thank Dr. Lori Lankowitz for hosting the big event this past Wednesday, and Dr. Melissa. What a beautiful facility. That was the first time I had been to her new physical therapy location on Route 8 in Butler, and I highly encourage people to seek her out at balanceforwellness.com. But she's one of the leaders in our organization, and we're very happy to be working with her.
Great job, Dr. Lori. More about her. That new facility she's got was an old Mercedes dealership. You can imagine the backdrop. It's a whole side of the building, nothing but glass from floor to ceiling. Unbelievably gorgeous. More from Lori, and up and coming, we'll be bringing her back on the show too. So thank you, Angelo, for spending a little bit of time with us this morning, giving our listeners the Boreshaa report. Hopefully they have found tastings nearby to them. They can even call up. I'm going to give that number after we say so long to you. For those that might just want to avoid the computer altogether and do this in another way. And we'll get with you now next Friday. We're not doing a live show because I'm going to be out of town at a conference. So we'll be able to repeat that the following week. Let's see. Yeah, the following week is the 31st. Next time we'll do a Boreshaa report with you is on October 31st, the same day that Dr. Dan Wagner is going to have his 2-day event, beginning of the 2-day event. All right, Doctor, thank you so much for your time. See you shortly. See you soon. Okay, there you have it, folks. The Boreshaa report with Dr. Angelo Mitsos. All right, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we will have switched gears. We open them up to you. You can come on in and ask a question, make a comment. Anything on your mind is okay with me. The number to do that, dial us up at 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. We'll be back in just a moment. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AM Impact on Your Health. Here in a Friday morning, get 'em up, out of town version of the show. You can come on in here now at any moment. Set the agenda as you'd like to see it. Of course, to do that, you just dial us up at 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. I'll listen for that knock on the door, and then I'll let you in the store. And by the way, with a knock just resounding, let's come on in and come on aboard. You're welcome in the store. What's on your mind? Go right ahead.
Morning, Dr. Courtney.
Hi.
Hi. Question for you about the Boreshaa products.
Okay.
Remember we'll go back a little bit to Kevin Trudeau.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this you, David?
It is me.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Very good. All right.
Okay. And the HCG, the human chorionic gonadotropin.
Yes, I do recall that very well.
And the whole principle behind that is that it kept you, if you were doing like a 500-calorie diet, it kept you not only from being hungry, but the big part was that it kept you from burning up your muscle, your visceral fat that was so important to surround the organs, and it burned like that brown adipose, the bad fat.
You captured that message perfectly right on. Yes, David.
Okay. Well, in my experience, because I've been on a pretty strict diet for about a year and a half, and I've totally lost 30, but over that year and a half, 35 pounds. But I hit plateaus, and the last plateau, I was about 196 or so, and it'd been 6 months, and nothing was moving. And then I did the Boreshaa for a couple of weeks, and the part that I wanted to move, like the love handle part, is what I lost. And I didn't sense, anything as far as losing any other muscle mass or anything like that. And I just wondered, is this coffee bean doing sort of the same thing as the HCG would do in burning the bad fat and protecting your visceral and muscle mass?
Well, I'll tell you, a testimonial coming from you, especially with you making an attempt to try to deal with weight loss issues, and this, to be able to do this in a non-natural form. You've stumbled across, I think, the beauty of the Boreshaa line. Now, as I was said straight this past week, the coffee, the tea, and the lemonade all are thermogenic. The sweetener is not. So I'll get that clear, because I think I've been in error for a long time now saying that all four of these do all the same thing, and that isn't true. But the thermogenic component is because these other three products, the tea and the coffee and the lemonade, all have a green tea extract which provokes and catalyzes this thermogenic reaction where you burn fat, and fat only, doesn't do anything to muscle, by virtue of consuming the product. And you heard, at least when we launched this, George Najjar telling you how he lost, I forget how many pounds he lost, to be quite honest with you. Joe Giuliano, that was his first encounter with the product. And now we hear that you are being successful in something that you were stalled on. You couldn't get it beyond a certain point from its thermogenic. As to whether or not it has the similar effect of HCG, HCG is that pregnancy hormone, and it was the protection God-given for women who might be pregnant and during their pregnancy undergo a period of starvation. The Lord provided for safety for both the mother and the fetus at that particular moment, and we just had picked up on that through Dr. Simeon's to be able to provide that artificially. This appears to be able to provide the same thing without the starvation diet. HCG programs work because you're on a 500-calorie diet. That's starvation by anybody's even stretch of the imagination. And while in starvation, you will lose weight, but you better protect muscle. Here, you don't have to be in starvation. In fact, you can be in a caloric abundance, and you're going to be able to lose weight from fat loss only, and not bring in the mechanism of danger of dissolving and working on muscle. I hope I've elaborated maybe a little too long, but have I hit the crux of the question that you raised?
No, that's exactly. I thought that's the way it worked from my own experience. I just wanted to check it out with you.
So you, David, have had, who were stalled a bit, noticed that through taking the Boreshaa products, by the way, which one or ones do you like particularly? I'm interested.
I only drink the coffee.
Oh, the coffee. Organic
It's only
coffee.
doing about 3 a week.
Really?
Yeah, it's not Monday, Wednesday, Friday, in the morning, and that's all I did, and I dropped 6 pounds in about 2 weeks. And like I said, I was at a plateau because I had lost, at that point, almost 30 pounds, and you know how that goes.
Yeah, you sort of plateaued. Yeah,
and I'm kind of excited because I got about 8 months to go. And I think I'm going to reach my goal and write the book, 6-pack at 60.
6-pack at 60. By the way, I've seen those 6-pack. Write that book, David, and you'll have an immediate. Your sales will go through the roof because you'll be your own testimonial. Glad to hear that you're reaching your goals. That there's a book in the offing, and that this Boreshaa product got you over a hump, and you say you lost 6 pounds in 2 weeks by drinking this coffee 3 times a week for those 2 weeks. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Can I give a heads up for everybody?
Please give it.
You're familiar with George Noy and Coast to Coast?
I know of the show. I haven't really listened to it myself, but I know a lot of my listeners do.
Well, I happen to be one of the. I get it off the internet. I pay to get it because I'd never be able to listen to it at night. It comes on at midnight to 5 in the morning or 3 in the morning, something like that. Mm-hmm. 1 o'clock till 4. But I catch them every day on the internet, and Ty Bodner was on Tuesday. It was.
Oh.
And you remember, Ty, you had him on your radio show last spring.
Absolutely.
He was at the cancer group, and he's done a lot of good work. Well, he has an 11-part series out right now. It's called "The Quest for the Cures Continues," and what it is, it's documentaries that are playing. They started last Tuesday, and they'll be going on until next week. I think there are 11 of them. One last night, and it was excellent. Of course, it's something where they want you to buy them, but they're free this week for people who want to watch them each day.
Where is it that they can watch them?
They're only like $4 or $5, and you got the CDs out of it and the MP3s. And for like $3, you just got the MP3s if you can listen that way. But the website is thetruthaboutcancer.com.
Okay.
They had Dr. Contreras on, and Bertram Goldberg, and they're doing interviews like that. And we should get you hooked up with them or George Noy. I know Sherry Tenpenny's a regular contributor to George Noy's show, and Mark Starr was on there. Who else? The voltage guy. Geez, I'm losing his name.
Dr. Jerry Tennant.
Dr. Jerry Tennant has been on Coast to Coast. We're going to get you on there, Doc.
I'll go. I'm going to absolutely look up this website and see what I can get for free and maybe download and put on the form of MP3s. Thank you so much for the testimonial and the heads up about a unique series that is happening this week. I'm going to dial it up. Thank you, David.
Very good, Doc.
Okay, there you have it. Great hearing from David, folks. What a testimonial coming from him on the Boreshaa product. So there you go. Hey, we got another knock on the door. Come on the store. Hello, welcome aboard. What's on your mind? Go right ahead.
Hi, Dr. Courtney.
Hi.
Good question. I've been trying to find a research article about the Metanex, and I called in before and talked to you about it, and I did some searching and just came up with something, but it wasn't really that good. And I also tried calling your office, and I think Frank tried to look for something. All it seems that he could find was like just a promotional brochure.
Oh no, there's a paper's written. Now the paper that originally came to my attention is now probably 2 years old. I understand there have been 2 other. The company comes around and drops off samples from Metanex to me. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, Metanex is a pharmaceutical form of B12, B6, and folic acid that's used for a number of reasons. Peripheral neuropathy, one of them, and depression, by the way, another one in high doses. And the fact that it's really not a drug, but nothing but vitamins, B12, B6, and L-methylfolate, has been now studied extensively, and the company provides me articles frequently to support the scientific validation for the claims that are made. Now, I have the original paper, and I am getting copies of the most recent research being done, which is literally within the last year. So Frank may have looked for them, but I got to tell you that salespeople that handle that particular item are the much better resource to get the freshest stuff. I promise to put some together for you. The salesman was just here this past week, and next time I see him, I'll get a bundle of them and put them aside for you. How's that?
Sounds great. Thank you.
Absolutely. Great question.
My second question is about the Boreshaa. I may have missed this at some point, but do you know if once a person has achieved their weight loss, do they have to keep using one of the products?
Well, I tell you what, probably answer that in this way. There you are every day with the need and desire to drink something, replace fluids. Now, you can do it with water, very, very safe, very economical, but these go-to drinks taste so doggone good. I never thought about you only do these for a certain time and you put them down. I sort of look at this as I found a new partner here. I have a go-to drink that I can drink every day. I'm going to say that taking it that way is just going to ensure that you maintain that which you've achieved. To just stop it, I'm going to guess that you leave things back to the will of calories versus output versus input, and I'm guessing that they get that little help. Keep it up. It'll be something you enjoy, and that would be my advice rather than just looking at it. I'm going to do this for a certain time and I'm going to stop. I never looked at it that way, but I would, if it tastes that good, keep it up. Here's David drinking the coffee 3 times a week for 2 weeks. Look at the benefit that he gets. My goodness, have a cup or 2 a week and keep it up.
Yeah, his was a great example.
Really a good example for a guy who was plateaued, trying to reach a goal and then just got stuck, couldn't do it. I'm really impressed with the way Boreshaa helped him. And if you're trying to reach a goal out there, listener, or if you haven't even set a goal yet, this is something that will compliment you on your journey, and I'm glad that Boreshaa is out there to help in that regard. Thank you for that question.
Thank you, Dr. Courtney.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Wonderful. Wonderful question. And that testimonial from David is unbelievable. So look, we are coming around that gun lap here. We've got about 8 minutes to go. Certainly time enough to answer additional questions you may have. As you should know by now, dial us up at 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262 to get on in here. We got somebody knocking on the door. Come on the store. Hello, welcome aboard. Go right ahead. Hello.
Dr. Gorton, good morning.
Hi.
Thank you for taking my call. I know you're running out of time, and I will make it quick. Recently, I learned if you do not have a gallbladder, you cannot take the regular vitamin D. D like dog.
If you don't have a gallbladder, you can't do what? Go ahead, ma'am. I couldn't hear that.
If you have a gallbladder, you are not able to take the regular vitamin D.
Okay, so of course, the regular vitamin C is water soluble.
No, vitamin D like dog.
Oh, vitamin D. Okay, so that is a fat soluble vitamin.
Yes, and I am not able to find water soluble vitamin D.
Because maybe that is, and so you're saying that because you don't have a gallbladder, you don't feel that you can handle vitamin D?
I was told, there's another doctor that I listened to via this channel, and he said if you do not have gallbladder, vitamin D goes right through you.
All right, well, let's say this much. From what I understand physiologically, bile is the substance that allows allocation of fat. And the gallbladder is the structure that stores amounts of bile so that when fatty foods, or I'm presuming about fat-soluble vitamins, are passing through the GI tract, that there's a stimulus to secrete and emulsify that fat. It's true that you don't have the ability to have a gush of bile if you don't have a gallbladder, but the connection still exists. And so you have a steady trickle of bile that is always being dumped into the intestines. If you've had your gallbladder removed, the substance still gets there. So I'm going to say to you that no, you should be able to, you'll handle fatty foods and you'll handle fat-soluble vitamins quite nicely, even if you have just a trickle of the bile going through. It's the bile that's the fantastic ingredient, not the gallbladder. You're getting gushes of it with the gallbladder present, but you're getting a steady amount of trickle without it. Bile is what gives the fecal matter its characteristic color, and people with gallbladders that have been removed don't have a change in the color and consistency of the stool because the bile is continually being secreted. So I beg to differ with someone that says that you can't take vitamin D because you've had gallbladder removed. I disagree.
I thank you. However, is there a water-soluble vitamin D?
Vitamin D by itself is fat soluble, so I'm not so certain that that product even exists. Allow the query to be investigated by me. I promise to report back, okay?
I appreciate it. I'm grateful to you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much for the question and the query. Good question. There you have it, folks. Fat soluble would be able to penetrate the mucosal barrier better than any water soluble. We have great efforts being made to make fat soluble everything because if it's water soluble, it really isn't absorbed well across the intestinal mucosa. So every time you hear the word like liposomal this and liposomal that, they have taken something that is water soluble, and I guess a good example would be vitamin C, and they put it in a liposomal form, making it fat soluble because only 3% of vitamin C is going to be absorbed if you don't make it in a liposomal form. And that doesn't seem even fair. You know, if you took 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, water soluble, that you would only really get as much as 30 milligrams of that stuff into the bloodstream when you're taking a pretty large tablet, 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, and the best you can get out of that is 30. Doesn't even seem like it's worth the effort, does it? So that's why fat-soluble forms of vitamin C, where you absorb close to 100% of what you take in, seems to be the way to handle this issue of fat-soluble and water-soluble. So I'm not understanding why it would be that one would want to take a water-soluble form of vitamin D, because it would be very much limited into what could be absorbed. I don't think you can absorb much at all. Anyway, that's how I feel about the question for now. Promise to get a better answer as to whether there actually is a water-soluble form of vitamin D. I don't think I'm heard of one. We'll let it go with that. Hey, got a couple minutes left. If you got a question, 412-825-6262. We'll get you on in here. That's 412-825-6262. Want to mention now, you heard us talk a couple times about this TLS program. It's being held weekly for 10 weeks. It started about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Transition the lifestyle system, helping a lot of people who have weight loss issues, who have carbohydrate metabolism issues. And according to Patty Szymanski, the coach out there, things are going well for everybody who's involved with the program. Promised to bring her on board, and maybe a testimonial or two from those who are participating with the advancing weeks. The point I want to mention now is that's the fall course. That's going to be over right at the beginning of December. But by the time January rolls around, and believe you me, that's the time that weight loss issues are in the air. We're already starting to form class number 2. If you think you'd like to be involved, give us a call here, 724-942-3002, and we'll get you on the list. Taking another quick caller. Come on in the store. Hello, welcome aboard. What's on your mind? Go right ahead.
Dr. Courtney, about that we just called about the largest soluble water?
Yes, soluble vitamin D.
Vitamin D. Dr. Sass carries that liquid.
There you go. And David Sass would know all about it. You know what? You got to know about this thing about fat soluble versus non, and whether or not if you don't have a gallbladder, you should. I'm gonna brace a question with him. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, he carries it, and that's what he says. If you don't have a gallbladder,
he's the guy that says it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? When he speaks, a lot of people should listen. I know I'll be listening when I talk to him.
It's a drop. It's a liquid.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
All right. We got bongos in the background. It's signaling our time out of here. Enjoyed spending the time with you. It's Friday. Always love doing the show on Friday. Look forward to Monday. Shannon. You're going to meet Shannon, folks. Oh, my goodness. We launch a new paradigm. FSM will be coming to this office soon. See you then. Bye now.